Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Happy Wednesday to everybody. Hope everybody morning is going good. Today, I wanted to give an update to the Jesse Mack Butler story that I've been covering. It involves a teenager that's based out of Stillwater, Oklahoma, who's pretty much an SA offender, who has done this to not one but two of his former classmates and was able to pretty much get off on community service and probation. Um, it is later found out. Well, before I get into that, let me say my disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Now, in regards to this story, a lot of people are shocked and appalled at the decision that was made, but it was later found out. And if you go to my previous video, if you haven't watched that one first, do so before you watch this one, because part one I did a few days ago. It should be in my recent timeline it's called the Jesse Mack Butler story. It's found out in this small town that that influence and money does go a long way, because it's a small college football town, where sports is like the number one factor in this town to everybody. And donating to the right people and knowing the right people can influence a decision that was made in the courtroom. Today, I'm going to play a video that's going to show that there is a grand jury investigation that is happening into the decision that was made as far as him not being, indicted on the charges that he should have been. And it's brought to the attention by a state representative. So we know that this case is going to politics. It's going to the government pretty much. It's going to politicians that something should be done as far as, a remedy of the situation and to get justice for the victims, of course. So I'm going to share that video as well.
I guess we ought to celebrate the fact that as splintered and polarized as this country is, we can still agree on something. I only wish that it were something better than this. An Oklahoma state representative who is a Republican says Democratic colleagues are with him as he blows the whistle on a sweetheart deal for an attempted teenage rapist. We first reported on Jesse Mack Butler last week. He was charged back in March with brutally raping and strangling two of his so-called girlfriends in 2024. Back then, he was 17 and they were 16, and he faced 10 felony counts in all, and they're the most serious. Look at the list: 2 counts of attempted rape, 3 counts of rape by instrumentation, and yes, it is what it means, 1 count of sexual battery, 1 count of forcible oral sodomy, 2 counts of domestic assault and battery by strangulation, that, by the way, he decided to videotape, and 1 count of domestic assault.
So they also mentioned that he has videotape of him committing these crimes, and yet he was still able to get off scot-free, which why I don't understand at all. But looking at all of these charges, this is a rap sheet of a career criminal. 10 felonies before you even turn 18, before you even know what life is or should know about life. It's crazy to me that you have all these charges and you didn't serve not one day in jail for any of these charges.
Jesse Butler was charged as an adult and pleaded not guilty. And ordinarily that would have been that. The legal process would have played out, a trial and or a deal if offered. But months later, the DA and the judge decided to do something else, to change Butler's status from adult to youthful offender, after which he pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 78 years in prison. But honestly, not even. Because as a youthful offender, Jesse Butler was instead given a rehabilitation plan consisting of daily check-ins, weekly counseling, a curfew, no social media, and 150 hours of
I'm laughing at this rehabilitation plan because this is not how you rehabilitate anybody of sexual offense. And I've always said I don't believe that you can rehabilitate rapists and pedophiles. That's just me personally. I don't think that there's a drug. I don't think that there's a 12-step therapy type group that can quote unquote fix these individuals. But this is something that, if you get caught drunk driving, or you break a window of public, if you vandalize a public building or something like that, daily check-ins, weekly counseling, a curfew, no social media, and 150 hours of community service. What about a GPS tether, alcohol and drug testing that you should be doing, checking in with your probation officer, sorry. But I guess that is the daily check-in or whatever. But yeah, it's some things that's missing off of this list and some things that should not even be on this list. But I'm gonna continue.
Community service. So basically, the life that most of us adults lead normally. And if Jesse Butler complies with this plan and doesn't break any more laws, he will be free and clear the moment he turns 19, which is less than a year from now. No prison, no parole, no record. No record, like none of this ever happened. And don't go searching for it, because you ain't gonna find it if you're on the dating apps or the hiring thing. If you think there ought to be a law against deals like that, or at least some hard questions asked about this, you are not alone. J.J. Humphrey is the lawmaker that I mentioned earlier, who has plenty of questions and the power to get some answers and take action. He's a state representative in Oklahoma, and he joins me now live. Sir, thank you so much for being on.
So he's a state representative in Oklahoma. He's a politician who wants to see justice get served for these victims. He's trying to see what happened, and that's going to spark the grand jury investigation.
On the program, I just want to ask you off the bat what you make of this deal that was given to Jesse Butler.
Well, if this don't set you on fire, I guarantee your wood's wet, because it makes you upset. Anybody that listens to this is going to be absolutely upset. And you start into how did this happen? How do we stop this? But here's the problem. The laws are there. What do you do when the courts don't follow the rules that's already set? Because they're the ones who set this. They filed charges on him. They set him as an adult. That didn't just happen. They had to have a hearing to adjudicate him to an adult. So how in the world did this judge come back and rule that, no, we're going to place him under a Youthful Offender Act and make it to where this sexual predator, this person convicted of all these sexual crimes, no longer has to do any of the things that require time, that require check-in and to register as a sex offender, turn him back out on the street without any kind of oversight over him. That's, again, if that don't fire you up, there's something wrong.
Well, it's fired us up. We're now, I think, on our second or third night of coverage on this story. We want to see if there's going to be a change, some resolution, some recourse for these moms and their daughters who have suffered through this. But I keep coming back to how it happened. Sir, do you think that the courts are corrupt? Is that how you think that this deal was maneuvered?
Oh, absolutely. We're working on grand juries right there. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think we're going to see more cases like this. I think we're going to see, I'm working on a case that may be as shocking as this. We're trying to get the Payne County grand jury because of this kind of action. And so, yes, I mean, absolutely, there's a lot of problems. We're meeting with, great resistance from their court and from our Oklahoma government. I mean, we're meeting with great resistance on trying to get that grand jury and hold these people accountable. So again, until they're held accountable, the laws are there, but what do you do when they don't follow their own rules, when they don't follow justice? They took an oath to justice. Does this sound like justice? And again, here's what I'm saying. Shouldn't we investigate? Should we not investigate? Was there political favor done here? Was this done as a result because of positions the father has or because people knew each other? I would think that it would.
So he's making every bit of sense and dropping a lot of gems. It is later found out that there is a lot of corruption going on within the court system in this small town and within the school system as well. That would explain how their son is still able to maintain being enrolled at that school, but have to go online. But at the same time, him getting off on scot free pretty much with the slap on the wrist, because it is known that his father, the defendant's father, has ties to the court that made that decision, that oversaw that case, presided over that case. So he is leading the spearhead. He is spearheading the resistance against that decision that the grand jury had made, and against the corruption that's going on, to make sure that he does get the time that he was supposed to receive originally, which was 80 years or 78 years to be exact.
Warrant investigation. And again, it's all allegations. We don't know what happened until we go in and investigate it. But golly, I'm mad as all get out. And we're trying to have other things there in that same county investigated. I mean, very, very corrupt things going on in this county and really across the state. There's all kinds of things. And guess what? We're having to fight our own Oklahoma government. This is red Oklahoma, and yet we're having to fight them, and we're having to fight the court system just to try to get things like rape and these type of cases investigated.
Well, I love the fact that you and Democrats, you said it's red Oklahoma, but Republicans and Democrats come together on this issue. I'm just hoping that you can actually force the hand and get this investigation kicked in, maybe a grand jury to look into it deeper. But short of that, sir, do you see any kind of federal path for these families with the facts and the affidavits that you've read? Have you seen anything that might actually give them some sort of standing in the federal courts?
I think that you could get to pass possibly to go to federal court. One, if we can get a grand jury and we can establish enough that there's no way that we get a fair hearing in Oklahoma, we could establish a federal grand jury and we could include this case. Now, I don't think you're going to get a reversal on the case, but you could look into, did the judges act right? Was there favoritism? Those kind of things. And again, if the family could prove favoritism or corruption in the court, that would be a cause to get that maybe into federal court. There's two vehicles possibly to get that done. It's going to be extremely hard. Once you get a ruling, very hard to get the court to change that ruling. And again, what you're going to see is this case put off, and they're going to try to outweight you and everybody forget and move on and go to some other newsworthy story. And again, we have case after case in just this county alone of these kind of incidents, not only rape, but arresting people who were turning in sexual abuse or abuse on their children, and they arrested them and put them in jail. So again, it's not just covering up rape, but it is going after people who come in and report these kind of abuses. So it's I mean, it's out of control. This is a big, big deal, and this is a big, big story. And if you look at what's going on and you put this rape case up beside grandmas and dads getting arrested for turning in abuse, that's when the community really is outraged. You want to get outrageous, start looking into everything and put it all in perspective, and you will get fired up. There is a lot of corruption going on in this community.
Well, I'll tell you what, State Representative J.J. Humphrey, we will continue to follow the story. We'll invite you back as we see hopefully some progress or some change or some resolution. Thank you for doing this tonight. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for running the story. Y'all have a blessed day.
You bet. We'll see you again soon. I do hope so.
So yeah, that's pretty much the update to this story, that the grand jury is going to be investigated for any foul play on their part. It is known that the judge is corrupt, or I wouldn't say corrupt right away, but what I will say is that she has ties to the defendant's father, which may have played a factor into her decision as far as him not being charged. But yeah, that's all I got for this particular video. I'm going to stay updated on this case as it goes, as it, further proceeds along. So maybe go back to trial. Hopefully that's what we want. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Have a good one to the next video.